So here we are again with another video, and if you hear me super far away, it's because I don't have a mic. My mic broke, and I really wanted to make this video. It's my second video in English in this channel. It's my second video in general, and if you don't know me, hi, I'm Janet. I live in Romania, but I'm from Panama, and yeah, I just really wanted to tell a story today about how I moved to Europe twice and how I stayed the second time. So I really hope this video can help you a little bit if you wanna move to Europe. So you don't know me a lot, but I'm gonna do a brief introduction. I'm 27, I'm from Panama. I am an architect and also an interior designer now. I'll get to that in a bit. And I lived all my life in Panama until 2017, until 2017, when I decided to move to Florence and study interior design. That's how I became an interior designer. And I know like a lot of people would love to live in another country. It doesn't matter if it's in Europe, Asia, whatever. And obviously this video is not exactly to tell you how you can do it, but to tell you how I did it, because I think experiences are going to be extremely different. With that said, I studied all my life in Panama. I worked a little in Panama as well. I also did makeup. So how did I decide to move to Florence? To be honest, it wasn't my first option to move to Florence. It was one of my options to move to Florence. I was working as an architect, and I really got to a point in my life, you know, the quarter life crisis. It was like in my 25 or 24. I was really just like in a low point where I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't feel comfortable. I thought like I had enough of my country, not in a bad way. It's just that I can't stay like in a one place for too long, especially because I've never had anything before. You know, like when you start experiencing stuff, then you realize what you like, what you don't like, you know, with anything, relationships, and that. My career was just like, felt like architecture just by itself, it wasn't enough for me. I'm gonna waste the same amount of money studying my own country. So I said, okay, let's maybe find out with the same amount of price, maybe I can go and travel somewhere else and study somewhere else. I did that. I started Googling, literally, I just started Googling masters in interior design. I saw in Canada, United States, I think it was also in UK, so obviously in Italy. So I like reduced my options. I figure out which places would be better money wise, because you know rents are different in every country, and obviously there are countries that are extremely high. So I figured, okay, I'm just gonna reduce the options and what's gonna be easier for me to apply. So at the end I figure out, okay, I'm just gonna go to Spain because I applied to a United States one. It was like university, and it was extremely expensive. Like I've never seen that price in any place in my life, not even in my own country. It was extremely expensive. It was the price of a full academic course, and this was just a master, like a 1-year thing, and it was the same price as my 4-year career, 5-year career in architecture. I said no, I don't even have the money for that. So I decided to like scratch North America, and I decided to go to Europe. I got to 2 of them, and I waited, and obviously all of this, because the money was super, like it wasn't that expensive, it wasn't like crazy expensive. So I've been like saving up a little bit with my work while I was working. I decided to go with the Florence ones. I applied to both. The first one that responded me, because I was really in like on the deadline, because they started I think on September, and I was applying on freaking April or something, so I didn't have enough time. Anyway, they accepted. I just decided to go. That was the difficult part, because I had to do all this paperwork in my embassy, the embassy of their country in my country. It was a lot of things to do. I really appreciate my mom and dad's help, because they just really helped me to like understand the paperwork, and like sometimes even helped me to go to places because I had to wait and I didn't have a car. And yeah, it was like I really appreciate that, and it was not impossible. It was just a lot of things to do. So you really have to be like really organized to like doing this stuff. It's not easy. Let me just take a little bit of coffee because I'm talking a lot. You really have to be organized in these things because you need a lot of paperwork. So sometimes people, maybe in your country, are gonna take a longer time to do this stuff. That was my basically all the things I had to do. And obviously after that I just started to like look for places to stay, and I came across this place. Like I really didn't go. I really had to like push myself to do this at least every night after work and every weekend, to just really organize it, because the time was coming like super fast on me. Months were passing, and I really needed to have an apartment. Like for example, if you're looking for apartments, people are not gonna put apartments to rent in English or Spanish. And also that's another thing I did. I started looking for apartments or places in their language. So I used Google Translate and I started to look for apartments in their language and just Google Translate things I needed to know, until one day I found this forum of like different universities. It was like a forum for people going to different universities. So to make the story short, I found this forum. You sign up, put in the college you were planning on going, your country, your home country, your age, all these kind of things that you will be like boxed in a category of like, oh, you are from this, you're from this, you're from this. So when you go into the site, into the forum, other students would find each other. I really had to like check because some places were like super expensive and they look super shitty, like super shitty. So I had to really like consider all my options. But then the ones that were like nice were extremely expensive, or they didn't have enough stuff, and I knew I had to share apartment. Like I couldn't pay an apartment by myself, so I needed to find roommates. And I thought, okay, maybe I can find a roommate and maybe I can go somewhere or ask people if they wanna just like share with me or whatever, or I'm just gonna be there in an Airbnb, and then when I get to the college, and then when I get to college, I'm gonna start putting like papers looking for roommates. That was my plan. But with this forum, it was really nice because I found one of my roommates. Well, actually no, she found me. I found my roommate, then she found another, and we were like all done, all set as a group, and then we had to find the place. And we were looking like every single day for places and stuff. At the end we found one. It was super nice. We barely had any problem in the apartment. All the time we stayed there, finished my school, I got to travel. I really wanted to stay in Europe. It didn't matter where. So when it was like almost close to the end, most closely to the end, like I had like maybe a month or maybe a little bit more left, I started sending papers, CVs. I remember with one of my colleagues, she was from, with one of my roommates, she was from the United States. We basically sat almost every afternoon, night after we went, we came back from college. We sat every afternoon trying to do the perfect cover letter, CV, everything. So it was a little bit of work. At the end I got like 3 calls, but my time was really running out. I didn't have the money to stay. I didn't know anybody so I could stay with. In my rent, the apartment was already like finalized, and nobody of my roommates were staying, so I couldn't pay the apartment alone. So I just had to figure it out. At the end I got like 3 interview calls, but I had to have a plan B, so I just went back to Panama with a job I found, and it was okay, but I wasn't like really excited about it. But it was my only resource. That was my first time going to Europe. That was my first how I got to Europe. And after that I just went back to Panama, and I kept working. But the funny thing is that before going back from Italy, I met my now boyfriend. It was a funny story, and I met him. He was from Romania, and also he was going back. So we met like literally, we like met 10 days before everybody was going back home, and especially me, 10 days before going back to Panama. So we started texting, and I thought, I'm not gonna meet this guy because probably he already left to his country. So I was just texting him very openly, very honestly, like, you know how it is dating these days, like you have to keep your cool, and you have to like not give a lot of information, blah blah blah, because whatever stupid shit. But I was really like, I don't care, I'm not gonna meet this guy anyway. We got along at the end. I went with him, like, which is super crazy because you don't know people and you shouldn't do that, but you know, I trust my gut. And I went with him for a 5-day trip around Italy, and that's how we got to know each other very honestly. Decided like we really wanted to be together, so then I started planning on like, okay, maybe if I go once, and maybe if I go twice to see him, the relationship can grow. And the first trip, I just like, I came here and like I met people and friends and family. I planned a second time to come back to visit again for Christmas and stuff, because I was working, so I could really save up money and catch like super inexpensive flights. I came a second time, but I thought, and I talked to my parents, like, maybe I'm gonna stay there, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna find a job, I don't know. And they were like super cool about it. So I started sending, like, even before the second trip, I started sending curriculums, I started searching for work and stuff in interior design, and surprisingly I got responses, and that I was gonna be in the place very soon. So I started sending papers and I got responses, and when I got here, I could just like meet with people. Yeah, we found a firm here, actually here, because most of them were like 2 hours away. We found a firm and we sent the CV and we talked to them, and they were like, okay, fine, cool, yeah, of course. And I literally just came with a carry-on bag. I didn't know I was gonna stay here, and that was like in November, December, and in January I already had a job. Now it wasn't that easy, going some days yes, some days no to the office to test it, and all the process really started there. It's really important for you before going, like, do not do what I did without knowing anything of the paperwork. I went and I came, sorry, and I didn't know times of paperwork here, what papers I needed. I left everything back in Panama, my diplomas, my transcripts, everything. And you really have to consider all this stuff because you're gonna need them. Because that happened to me. They took a long time. Like, for example, because I was traveling to Europe, you have like 90 days. So in those 90 days, I really spent it without knowing. And then one of the paperworks were like 60 days for them to give them back to me, and I didn't have 60 days. So that meant that I have to go out of the country so I didn't spend the rest of my days. Like the little days I had, I shouldn't spend, because if not, I would have to go out of the country. And all the paperwork was going on, it was insane. Really had to like go out of the country. We went to like Budapest, which is super close here, but super close in relation to any other place. So we could get out of the country, so I didn't spend days. It was insane. And at the end, I actually didn't have more. So you cannot spend all your days that you have in the country. I told my boss, hey, I'm gonna go to freaking London to my boyfriend's brother because I cannot spend these days here. It was insane. Really suggest you to, and I encourage you to do your research before going to any country, even beforehand. If you want to stay, if you want to work. I'll be sharing obviously more bits of my life. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know about this set. It's like a really chill set. It's like my bedroom. So yeah, I really hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, I speak English. If you want to follow me, this is my handle on Instagram. I'm posting a little bit more. I'm doing stories about makeup, doing makeup application. Also subscribe if you like the background, like the vibe, like the topic. Maybe we're gonna keep doing this. Okay? See you later. Bye.